I gotta go back and unlock and let her in.
Days of July are just running together.
Looking almost over, it's crazy.
So we are live, so remember the microphone is very sensitive. Oh, there you go. Oh, there she is now.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, I sent her some availability, so. Just give me a.
Hi, Kimberly, can you hear us?
Hi, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Table. We told them come here.
All right, I've got 5 o'clock. I'm looking to call the meeting to order. Looking for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second it. First by Corey, second by Polly. All those in favor?
I,
And opposed? Okay, moving on to the treasurer's report
As
and
you can see what's in there. Let me
Yes.
put this together. General account beginning balance $456,559.81. Receipts were $612,196.38. Accounts payable $424,358.56. Payroll $283,548.99. The ending balance then was $388,848.64. Debt service, they added interest of $6.06, ending balance there is $29,475. She did note, and I think you guys approved this about the closing of the accounts that
Yep.
come. But these were just the amounts that were in there at that point in time, so 19,000 in scholarship, $785.96. Interest, $2.85, transfer checking, 19,785.96, ending balance $2.85. The activity account there then, beginning balance 128,256.24. Our receipts were 5,413.35. Transfer to general 133,495. 64 for an ending balance of 173.95. And then the bingo account with the added interest of 39 cents, transfer to the general fund 2007-4903 with a negative balance of $8.07.
It's coming back to.
Yeah,
that
so
was
they're
a-
in tomorrow, so.
a late.
So then total cash balance then 531.26, 410,518.56. And you can see where she highlighted those with the transfer. Then you can read the special education fund service had not been done as a June entry, still need to be made. July payroll, and then mid-August is then when the tax disbursement comes.
Okay.
And she'll be claiming grants and hopefully we didn't see anything. So I know a lot of the grants from these guys are, they just take like 2 weeks to come.
My only question on this is, now that that stuff is moving into the general account, where will we see where those accounts are reflected in that?
Okay, let's write that
That'll
down.
be in. Just like this.
We'll,
Yeah.
Oh, she'll just report each month on it, I guess, so,
Just like this.
but I'll get that,
So-
I'll get that.
okay, but do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. So you wanna be able to see these accounts? even
I
though-
do. I
Yeah.
wanna see that something is still earmarked scholarship.
Gotcha.
Even though the money is in
And
the
it's in-
general fund and it's accessible to you as,
It's in Skyward.
Yes.
That's where it's housed at, is in Skyward, each
Right.
account.
but we'll be able to see that month to month.
I will reach out to her to see if we can see that.
Okay. Cause the last thing I want is people to think that that money just disappears out of the general
So
fund.
she's gonna keep doing
She's
that
gonna
right
continue
here.
to do.
Even though they were transferred in,
Okay,
she's gonna continue to show you
what those dollar amounts are, okay? And then my other thing on the very bottom of that is that total, the capital. Were those projects that were already being done, but what's that total
Yes.
mechanical 175,000?
Yes,
That's
those
the-
were off on the right.
Boilers,
Okay, and then the Shell Power and Light,
that's the generator.
okay, perfect, thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions on that one? And then anything on the treasury report or report fund? Those are the other two documents that
We'll just confirm your questions.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you, I appreciate that.
It's just. Okay, so we'll refer those to the meeting next Monday. Good to go. All right, Dan's gonna give us a building update.
So last Thursday, that we talked to Greg Hayes. On policy and local 20. 80 was there, I don't know if you wants.
Yes, I can explain. I'll get my notes back out from this. Okay, so under the current warranty that we have, they want you to do an inspection on a regular basis. And if something large were to happen to the roof, they may look back and go, did you do your maintenance every year or every other year or never? And then not want to pay out if they can show that you didn't have those inspections done. So he didn't say that we had to do it every year. It's just they want a regular inspection done. It is just a visual inspection and it's roughly $300 to $400. They pay hourly. So because we're having to have someone drive up here, that's where some of those costs can increase. Or if the roof is older and they have to be a little bit more meticulous at what they're looking for. All right. If we go with the continued care program, which extends the warranty 5 additional years, then we are required to have that annual inspection. It's a more thorough inspection that includes both looking inside and on the outside of the roof. And it would cost somewhere between $500 to $600. As the roof gets older, that cost is likely to go up because again, they're spending more time looking at an older roof. Anytime we did not follow, at any point, if we did not follow through with having that more thorough inspection, we would drop off from having the 25-year warranty and just go back to the 20-year warranty.
So the 20-year doesn't require it.
It doesn't require it, but he's like, if it's a couple of small corner patches, they're not going to bat an eye and they're going to fix it and cover it under warranty. But if it's something big and major and they can go back and show that you don't have a history of maintaining it, they're obviously looking for reasons to deny a claim because you didn't have it inspected. So I thought a nice in-between ground would be, it's probably a good idea to have the roof inspected anyway. It's a big capital improvement that we've made. If we just scheduled a inspection every other year and stuck to that 20-year warranty plan and had it inspected every other year, I felt pretty good with that we're doing something proactively to keep up on it, but not having to do it every year.
Should be doing enough to show.
That you tried.
Yes, enough to show that we try and we're still looking to catch those errors. And he did say that if we went ahead and scheduled that inspection, which we would be due for this first year, if we did it this year, he would be willing for free to inspect all the rest of the roof that was not replaced, to just do a visual of it and point anything out that he thought could be a problem.
Does it have to be done by them or, I mean,
It has to be done by a person that Carlisle, which is the manufacturer of the roof, has deemed an appropriate installer. So no, they may not be the only one, but they may be the only one in our area to do so. And this new warranty is because they've done so well installing for Carlisle in the past that they've said, Carlisle's like, hey, we'll let you offer this special program. So that's why it's a newer thing that they're doing.
Did you have an exact number for that extra 5 years? Like what it would cost?
It would cost the inspection, that's it.
hourly.
It's just that hourly inspection, and because it's a little bit more thorough inside and out, he was said, we'd be looking at $500 to $600. In 20 years, that might be more. So it's their thorough,
10 years.
review of it. Yeah.
That. Cost home. Is they're gonna be looking for more stuff.
But we can't add that 5 years without adding the annual inspection.
correct. We would have to have that.
Got it.
That portion. So I feel like there was one other thing I was just gonna say. He did say that the life expectancy of this roof, if it's well maintained, should be around 30 years. So we're looking to have the first 20 of it at least, under warranty. Now, I don't think we've ever made a warranty claim with the other portions of the roof previously.
Not that I'm.
Right, because we've never had a inspection done by these guys, even with the ballast roof and whatnot.
Ask them. Get that from you.
Replace the roof, right, but there hasn't been huge things that have come up where the corners have come up and we've had, it's like when the leaks have started to happen, we know that it's time to replace the roof, and that is the life expectancy of the roof that we've hit in the past. Yeah. So,
I'm looking at 25,000 for
25,000,
doing the full 25 years roughly in maintenance.
right, and if we.
Oh, 17,000 only.
If we did 500 times or
That's
600,
700.
yeah, 700.
I just don't trust them after the inconsistent things they've said.
Well, I think we've been talking to a couple of different
There was
people,
two people.
and they,
That gives more of a level kind of follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually goes up in this. But he was a little bit, he knew what his costs of, working with us. They're fairly close up there.
so if we wanted the 25-year deal, we would have to have the document set up at the 1-year mark, which is August 12th. So we would have until August 12th to submit that paperwork for that coverage. And with both plans, they have said they would send us a reminder. They put all the files in a cabinet, and every year they start pulling them out and start scheduling these inspections. So you would say, yes, I'd like the inspection this year, or no, I would not. On a yearly basis with them. My instinct was, like I said, to do like an every other year inspection, and
Forego the
and
5
they're
years.
gonna and then they would also take the look at the rest of the roof right now, and we'll have it on our capital improvement project list when those other roofs are needing replacement, so that we're watching for those in the future as well.
And then Dan, you wander around up there once in a while, right? So if you saw something, we would automatically know that we better get inspected.
And we have a much better chance of seeing something because we don't have the ballast up there anymore. And we've taken out many of the items that were sticking through the roof, which are the failure points, the vent releases and
We already
whatnot.
moved.
Yes, yes. So,
So is this going to the full board now? We don't need a motion or anything.
What do you guys want to do?
At this point, I am willing to make a motion to just stick with the 20-year to the full board on Monday.
yeah, and I mean, this is under the dollar value at a yearly level for the board to have to approve. This is just like a regular maintenance piece too.
I was curious just what you got. What direction?
Yeah,
I've
I'm-
gone back and forth.
you're thinking
How
the
much did
20,
the new roof cost?
it came in just under 500,000. or? Yeah,
He knows how much of the percentage of the roof.
It's basically the entire high school.
I mean, he's pushing for Carlisle, he's pushing this because Carlisle will replace it, not.
they would cover the, yes, they
Yeah.
would cover the work, but they will cover the work in that 20-year time frame as well. So is it worth paying a couple extra $100 every single year for 5 more years of coverage?
Well, I mean, the only benefit that I see to the additional 5 years of coverage is now we are getting to the end of that life. Like, if they're saying the roof will survive for 30 years, any catastrophic failure, I guess, would happen. Anything that they did improper at the start would come up in the first few years, but anything catastrophic that would fail, the glue letting go, the corner parapets, anything like that is gonna happen in that last 10 years of the life. So like if we can gain 5 years out of it for a $500,000 roof for $7,000, now I'm going back and forth on it, I guess is what I'm saying, cause I think that might be beneficial for us to do the $500 to $700 inspection fee. I know it gets more as is later on, but if we're talking a $500,000 roof, that would have a catastrophic failure because the glue
We
let
are not
loose.
locked in at any particular price. I mean, if 5 years they come back and say it's $1,000 to come back.
We can stop at any point,
We
right?
could stop at any
But
point.
then
yes.
then we'd have spent the money without it doing anything.
Well, we wouldn't have spent all the money though. We would only have
Sure, I understand.
2,000 or 3,000 wrapped up in it at that point.
I was where you are last month. Now I'm,
I'm just trying to think of the best bang for our buck for the taxpayers, cause if it's something catastrophic that fails, I think it would be beneficial. If they're gonna cover it, do they cover labor and material, or do they just cover the material and we still gotta front the labor for them to replace it?
He said we would submit a claim directly to Carlisle, so that felt like you would submit an insurance claim.
And they would cover
That's
replacement.
not a specific item. Did you go back and find the email where they had sent you that warranty paperwork, so we'd have that somewhere?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so it might specify if we read through the fine print, that wasn't a specific question.
Cause if that's something that, if Carlisle replaces both product and
I'm pretty sure.
labor, I think that might be worth it.
They have to be fixed, that I. Sure.
And it would be nice for them to at least lay eyes on the remaining 60% of the roof that didn't get replaced.
That would not be
I know that's not included, but
correct.
at least if
One
you
time.
see something, you could bring it up to them when they're doing their annual inspection. If it costs us a little bit more.
Yeah.
At least then we would know where that roof is, having people in the trade.
a set dollar amount,
know.
I would feel so much more comfortable
Yeah.
with that, Corey, but when they went from $200 to $300 to $600 to $700.
And
per
it
year,
could change at any
And
point.
it can change, that's what makes me really,
And
and then
that's-
saying we have to have it, and then saying we didn't have to have it.
J&A Northwest installs commercial roofing.
That's basically just common inspection, so you're just looking at the roof. The other one is you're looking on the outside and the inside. So that's why those ones are different.
But that wasn't clear at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's my point is that we haven't been given very clear information.
I-
Now I feel like it's clear, but they're still saying it could change.
That's the hard part for me too, that they aren't just saying, sign up for this program, it costs you this much every year, and in 5 years, if you sign up for the same program, it might cost you more, but you know, we locked in at our inspection price now for the next
Because it
20
doesn't
years.
get-
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
A full, it's not like prorated or anything, is it? Is it like a full?
It's just an hourly fee, so
Yeah,
however long.
bill
It's just like if they have to replace something, that they give you like a certain, like, there's a lot of insurance stuff with roofing, they give you a prorated.
Like you're 10 years into the roof of this, so we're taking off 50%.
Again, that would be the fine print in that warranty. paper.
That would be, I don't even know if we would have. Not sure if that would be in that. Weren't even using them. Yeah,
Mhm.
It's
because if that's for that special 5-year extension. That would be 5-year.
Mhm.
If it's in the warranty that is full replacement value of the roof, then we would be fine.
They're
The-
never gonna replace the whole roof. They're gonna come in and they're gonna patch a
They're
corner.
gonna fix what's
And they're gonna
broken,
patch
yeah.
or whatever. And
Mhm.
Well, my understanding is the original warranty paperwork didn't have anything about the inspections in it.
well, it came in an email and it came with a, like a care manual and they just got emailed and those may not have been printed off and
One of the
Looked
former
at.
board members told me that that was not in the original information.
right,
don't think
I have
it
not
used to be,
seen it.
Cause I sold roofing stuff for years and years and that was never, like
Right.
selling shingles and I did it in PDM, I did everything, and it was never a thing, so it must be.
But I don't even, like, could we find the 20-year warranty paperwork for the old roof? Yeah, right,
Why would we be looking for it for the old roof?
because
For
the
this roof,
people that get the paperwork, it may not have ended up in like a file that then gets passed on to the next person. The likelihood of Dan being here in 20 years is not, you're not gonna be
about
here.
the new roof.
I know you are, but I'm just saying the paper, we didn't see it.
Do we have the original paperwork
It's
from
in
the
it.
new roof?
It's in an email that Dan got. But it never got passed along to any of us. Which is likely what
So
happened.
that
in the
does
past.
say there had to be an inspection.
We'd have to go back and read that email
We
from
don't know
August.
what's inside. Right. I mean, that's really an important thing to me. We need to know that.
Mhm.
If they're just coming up with this inspection
It's,
after we've already agreed to a roof with a warranty, what? I don't understand.
You're asking about the 20-year warranty.
The 20-year warranty.
20-year warranty, he told us that the inspection is in there, said it has to be inspected. So we kept asking him, does it really have to be inspected? Because we haven't been doing it. And he said, well, it should be inspected.
Yeah. if you,
Sometimes
They'll-
because if
Yeah.
you had, because if you have a $10,000 claim or a big claim, then they're gonna say, well, have you been?
Yeah, I get that whole thing.
So
I
that's-
just wanna know that
so
it was
is
in that
actually
original
in
warranty.
there. It is in the warranty.
So you've actually seen it in there, or he told you it's in
I
there?
haven't seen it, that's what he said that it is in.
if,
Can you forward it to us so we can read through
Yeah.
it and dissect it?
The only reason I was asking if it has to be performed by Paul Sheet Metal is there's commercial roofers all over up here. Like, is there a
if we
way
can
that
find a Carlisle authorized,
installer? Yep.
yep,
And see what
installer.
That they like approve.
Yep.
Yes.
But like
Well,
J&A Northwest, they're right out of Cumberland. They do commercial roofing, which I'm assuming Carlisle is all over northern Wisconsin. So if we could find a commercial roofer that would do the inspection at a lower rate or at a locked in rate at least, so we know what we're
Yeah, we
paying.
could lock in.
Cause my fear is they're gonna come and do
They
the,
could, but the extended warranty one.
is only offered through Paul's.
Have to.
Right, because he's their special installer.
Now,
I see.
the regular 20-year, somebody else. to
Yeah.
do. But because the Carlisle is allowing them to offer that extension, they're
Mhm.
the ones who have to come in.
Or we'd have to ask Carlisle, who is your other special installer?
Is there a way that Paul's could, I mean, my fear is we're gonna go to Paul's and say, hey, can you lock in a price with us for the inspection for the next 25 years? They're gonna go, yeah, $900. So we got wiggle room and safe, and now we just shot ourselves in the foot. Cause like, I do like the fact that we're only paying for what we're getting. Like, you're paying their hourly for whoever inspects to come up, do the full inspection. If we have questions, they'll take the time and go through it, but that's an expense to the taxpayers then.
Mhm.
That could amount to, are we doing the right thing?
Right.
I would say that due to the situation we're in, we're probably better off just sticking with the 20-year warranty, taking advantage of that. They will, when they come out, they will send us. Because we don't know what's going to happen. That would be my suggestion.
It looks like they got lots of warranties on their website, Carlisle, so it's just be figuring out which is our.
So in the
right
meantime,
roofing.
we'll forward that on.
Yeah.
Working out between now and Monday, that should give you some.
Yeah,
I think so.
move it forward to the full board and debate then.
Sounds good.
Any other updates on building items?
The boilers are basically finished. They have to look at the wiring to finish. Then they'll come out and test start it. They did not put in the heat exchanger that I thought that they were gonna be putting in, but apparently it was not fit.
Okay,
So now they're gonna give me rights to have the heat exchanger, which
and where was the heat exchanger going?
it's going in the large tank in the room that holds water.
Okay,
So we were gonna run a pipe and heat exchanger, so the hot water from the boiler would help with the hot water.
yes,
And so that we could take advantage of that.
okay,
I don't understand why it's in there because I specifically told them that we want this.
mhm.
So, and they're also gonna give me a bid on fixing it. We can.
The condensation, no, it was a leak when you
That
turned it,
line and.
Yes.
Supplier return.
when you turn the pressure on and off to it. There are still funds left in that capital improvement referendum, so we'll look at that obviously first for those costs.
They replaced the transformer Friday.
Okay.
From West Electric.
Yep.
So we got the chiller running today. A little bit. When I started it Thursday, the compressors were not working. Everything else was working properly. They had to add a lot of coolant today. Right now I have 3 areas that are cooling to try to make sure everything is working right. And so there should be. So the auditorium should be cool for the meeting.
Fantastic.
The gym floors are finished last week, so nobody's going in there till after the end of this week. Carpets get cleaned next week.
When,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
so we have a board meeting. You want us to move out of here?
No.
Oh, thanks.
Okay,
We're almost done with all the classrooms, high school hallways are finished, so we're doing all right.
excellent.
I think that's all I've got.
All right, any questions for Dan?
The playground gonna forget that situation out there, but
We opted not to go ahead with them fixing it.
did we do any research into who we can have?
We can do it internally if we find it necessary, so we haven't looked at doing it yet. Fall would be a better time to seed in anyway, so we can do that after we get through all the whacking and all of that part. All right. Okay, on to personnel topics, new business. So we have resignation of
Thank you,
football
Dan.
coach Michael Anton. Any questions on his resignation?
Nice that he's willing to volunteer.
Yeah, it is. So we'll refer that to the full meeting. Then we've got resignation of grant writer Rick Larson. Do we have any ideas
I
on?
got some people in mind,
You do, okay,
Okay.
but I don't want to mention any.
obviously, yes,
Mhm.
I have several.
okay. Excellent, so that'll get moved on to the full meeting.
Are we gonna offer it kind of as the same package that we had?
I was assuming, per grant and paid.
Yep,
As we did before, is that
Yep.
okay?
That's
good by me.
good by me. So Mindy, for every grant that they wrote, there was like a payment where they would, if we got the grant, they would get a dollar amount for getting the grant, and for the larger amounts, they would get a percentage of the larger grant. So there was some initiative there, hopefully
To get
to
grants.
help them seek
I
out
don't
grants,
think we paid out very much last year, did we?
but we didn't get a lot of grants either.
The thing he
I know,
got though was.
but we
just
didn't
some
apply for a
athletic-
lot of grants either.
We did,
Yeah, he got a lot of athletic things.
supplies, yeah, like hard goods,
Yeah.
not dollars.
And I think he said he still has something to finish out currently and.
I meant for the dollar amount for the applications.
Yes.
I didn't mean for the percentage.
Mhm.
Okay. We're going to hire a social studies teacher. So Brad, do we know how to say Brad's last name?
Kazook, I believe.
Kazook. Brad, I'm sure will tell us when he gets here. So we're gonna hire him. Any questions on that high school social studies position? Hire of a paraprofessional, Lily Armstrong,
Stacy Stevens.
Stacy, sorry. I checked off my one, Stacy Stevens, and then Lily Armstrong. Any questions on either of those applicants for paraprofessionals? All right. And then we'll hire of a high school football assistant coach, Tyler Anton. Any questions there? So those will all get referred to the full meeting and we can do a consent agenda to link them together. That'll go speedily then. All right, new business, policy topic. So here's our policy on electronic devices again. So we did just put a policy in place so that we were legally having one in place. But we'll continue to have discussion about it and make changes as we need to. Has anyone read over it? I read through
I read
everything
through it
for
quick.
punctuation
and
and whatnot.
The ones were the the consequences. It's just, the only part I found was the consequences for violations of this policy can be on documents. And book,
Yes.
if we further,
Yeah, we discussed this today and we were just thinking about, I mean, we're prepared to do whatever the board feels like is necessary. And Aaron, you have a lot of experience with this and you've gone both ways on this, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
gonna let you just talk a little bit about it and then.
I had a chance to look through, Kevin shared with me, there were some staff surveys, it wasn't a great number of them. Not surprising to me as I flipped through them, they were very divided in terms of.
And they only had a week.
Yeah, and I understand, I'm just, in my experience, there's been kind of two camps on how, you know, how to go about it, and I think one thing that's I've seen to be very, very important and impactful, whichever direction, you know, if the board has a feeling and wants to go away one way versus the other. To me, being able to work through it with the teaching staff, work through it, you know, at the high school level. In my last role, I brought students in, we talked about it, we had community family meetings, you know, there's strong feelings there as well. So personally, I would be more comfortable if, you know, if we started with, you know, kind of the policy that, you know, was in place and what you've, you know, you now have on paper to meet the legal requirements with, you know, one of the first steps I want to take is really working with the staff to ensure, you know, whatever direction we go, and I know not everybody's going to be on the same page, that we can all buy into it, that we're going to commit to be consistent in our classrooms.
Yes.
You know, I know that, I've seen that, and I've heard from people here, but I've seen that in my past experience as well as, you know, if we can't get the two people next door to one another consistent, it causes tension and, you know, and issues there as well. So I think, you know, again, I was part of a process in my last role where we went from a policy similar to this to all the way away from the day at 8 o'clock when the bell rang, they were put away till 3 o'clock. That district has just now reverted back to essentially what's in place here. I can say from a person power side of things, if we do go to the full away from the day, especially early on, it kind of takes all hands on deck, and you really have to be willing to put other things aside and really spend your time working there. And not to say that isn't without benefit, but you know, there definitely is there's an adoption. It takes a while, especially to get that buy-in, not only staff, student and family. It's a process. So I mean, that again, I'm open, but I would really like to to get to meet our teaching staff and really hammer through this together and before we make significant changes.
I learned a lot about this and how things have changed since I retired 5 years ago. And, I really appreciate it. Is it Tom's input as a sub? And then having talked to a lot of teachers and subs since that, I really didn't know how big of a problem it was. And I don't think a lot of people do if they aren't working in the environment. And what I have told people is we had to have something done. I mean, it's a new mandate. It had to be done. But I think it is going to be a work in progress. And I certainly feel for the people that have to deal with it in their classrooms that want it done. And then having it not followed through by others. I can totally understand the frustration in that. And everybody's not going to be happy no matter what. We know that.
I think that's.
And we did right away say we wanted to hear what your experience
Right, and I
was,
think that's the
so.
first step in my role is to ensure that we have consistent, to ensure that if our policy as of now is they're not, if they're either in the locker or in the caddy, they're not in the classroom. My job is to ensure that's what's happening in each and every classroom. Because if it's not happening, like that's when you start to see the breakdown.
Right.
One, it's hard, you can't enforce anything, and two, the frustration, and I get it. I was there as a teacher as well, where back in my time before cell phones, it was hats and it was hardcore. You couldn't have a hat on. And so you couldn't have a hat on in my room, and they'd walk by my room and put their hat on when they walked into the next room, So I think I understand the consistency, and I think that's my job on the staff side of things to ensure we have the consistency.
Talking to students from other schools was interesting too. There's students from other schools saying, are you kidding? We do not have our phones out at all.
Yeah.
And
The
those
culture.
districts aren't too far away. They're not in our county, the ones that I've heard of, but, interesting. The paths.
Yeah,
they
it's all
take.
It is.
over that.
Yeah, it is.
It is all
What you
over
guys
that. And
think we
even
should
our
do.
board the parents on our board were like
Mhm.
not in agreement, so.
I think with families, there's education, even when you lay out yes, they can be used in emergency, like that has to be well communicated, and there's a lot of angst with parents, like, what if something goes down, heaven forbid, something goes down in the school and I can't get a hold of my son? That's real, and I think having those conversations and really, educating, being open about how we're gonna go is important.
And with medical devices being much more common,
Mhm.
for diabetes and other issues.
Yep.
Those are reasons that you need to have it on you, so,
As long as
It's a hard
teacher A
one.
and B are on the same page.
yes.
Is teacher A over here just letting them free for all, and then you've got B here who's got them tucked away, that's what we're dealing with. That's what we
Yes.
want to address, I think.
I think that's the first step in
Yeah,
anything,
I
like we
think
can create
that's been our
the
problem.
most restrictive policy or a more, open policy, more, say permissive is not the right word, but
Right,
if it's not followed and it's not implemented uniformly, it's gonna fall apart. So I think that's the first step, is really coming together. Here's what our policy is now. Here's my expectation is, this is what I see.
and if we have to lock it down more, we will, but for
Well,
now,
I
this
think
is,
that's, I think that process, and again, I'm not opposed to that.
I think
It
we're
was,
starting where we need to.
it was a transition, but it was a lot of work, but there was a lot of good things that came out of it as well.
Students who have a device as part of their IEP, 504.
Yes,
That type of thing, and making sure we're very set and solid on that communication of the
Absolutely.
policy. So that
Yeah.
it ensures that. consistency.
Yes.
And I can imagine
Yeah.
that some of those devices even could live in the caddy and be on, where right now this says it should be off and in the caddy. Like if they have their
Yes.
phone. So it's not like they may even need to have it on their person to receive those notifications potentially.
Right, and so much of that is
Yeah.
individualized,
Yep.
that is something that we have to experience and
Yeah.
get through.
Yep.
Right. See what's going on.
Yeah.
or Say.
Yeah.
We have to change things up.
So Mindy, you brought up the consequences being in the handbook. I think that probably is a good place for them to live because we review the handbook every year where these policies don't get reviewed every single year. They're on like a rolling.
Well, we try to,
Piece.
like, if that were to come up in the handbook, we just try to want to make some.
We would make them the same. So I'm not opposed to saying consequences for violations of this policy will be found and not having those consequences listed out here because then we don't worry about the matching of them every single year. There was one sentence that confused me some, and it's on page 2 under use of restricted devices generally prohibited during instructional time of day. So the last sentence says, devices may be used during non-instructional time such as lunch, passing times, recess, etc. While the student is participating in any district supervised activity away from school grounds during school hours. That makes it feel like they're on a field trip and they could be on their phone the whole time, not just on the bus. And to all locations on school grounds.
I thought that was weird.
I'm thinking that sounds like we're transporting to, you know, the forest to do a lesson. They could use it, but I know it's already talked about. I know there's another spot where it says they could use them during transportation. So I'm wondering if the last part of that sentence would be better to not be there. The while student is participating in district supervised activities
Right.
away from school grounds during school hours.
Just end with.
Well, we don't want kids on field trips on
On
their
phones,
phones.
right. Like if we just ended with devices can be used during non-instructional times such as lunch, passing time, recess.
And then there's
stuff.
a separate thing about transportation.
And that's it already here. The transportation one already exists that says that they may utilize it during their being transported time.
The concern might be without a different clarification, can they bring their phone on that field trip? Because we don't have a locker room at the caddy. Or does there need to be a caddy? So that might require this.
Okay, I'm all open to, you know, additional language that could go
If they're
there.
using it on the bus, what are they gonna do with it when they're done?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it on field trip to go?
Sure.
Or does the teacher have to hold on? to
Right.
it? So that's.
Do they leave it on the bus? Yeah, do they?
So we'll look at that sentence. and
Okay.
See if we can come up
Yeah.
with something on that.
And I've
Yep.
got some other grammatical pieces. I'll just
Okay.
give you this, that, you know, the numbers are like, one of them goes 1, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we know. that-
Yeah. So there's a couple things in there. I'll just give you guys that. The other one that was kind of bigger, as we do device definitions, this policy refers to a restricted device and that means. And then we have specific examples, and then we have a wireless communication device is a portable device that can communicate between 2 or more parties. I wonder if we get rid of the specific examples so that we're not, again, locked in. We know that there's gonna be a number of things that can come up in the future that will be the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I feel like the specific examples was probably in our policy already, and then when we added in for the new law, this next chunk got
It can say,
posted in there.
but not limited to, and be fine. I like the examples because I don't think people know what they are or how many there are. So I like the examples, but it should probably say examples given, but not limited to.
Okay, that can work as well.
I mean, can it be as simple as like anything not provided by the school?
No, because we're looking at devices that are specifically wireless communication devices.
Mm.
Wait, well, actually, and that one, that's for phones. That leaves out the other things that are like a Game Boy or, you know, they're not communicating devices. But there are things that we don't want to have.
Anything that plays Apple Music. Thing that plays
Yeah,
any-
because they're transmitting, well, I guess audio, picture, video. It doesn't have to communicate. It has voice messaging or other data between 2 parties. I guess they would all fit in there. So, I mean, we can keep all the examples and then put, you know, not limited to.
Because that educational piece to
I'm sure.
know that there are that many different types, and yes, there will be more probably every day, the
Mm-hmm.
rest of our lives,
the
but
glasses.
at least.
Glasses are unreal.
Yeah. Okay, anything else on,
We'll just keep, you want this as a standing item?
just until we're totally done and nailed down?
No,
I mean,
seriously.
yeah, I mean,
Actually, I think that's a good idea.
yeah,
Cause it's
It'll-
a work in progress.
it'll take a couple more goes to get it nailed down.
Well, and I think we still have to get the school year started too and see how teachers are performing with it and students and I mean,
I could see providing you with reports once.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely, like here's our data, here's how many cell phone issues we have. Here's the conversation we had in our October staff meeting, you know.
Yeah.
those are all-
It's gonna start out heavy. And I mean, people coming back from summer break that are on their phones all the time, on their
And
devices all the
That's
time.
gonna be.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, I've pulled it out several times, like just looking at email, cause I have my phone, it's easy. But we probably shouldn't be doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean.
Well, but there is some like,
Yeah,
we're an adult doing an adult
Yeah,
job
but-
and these are kids. I mean, we want to be good
Yeah, it's
examples.
I don't.
But we don't have to be the, you know, exact, because it's a different setting.
When we went away for the day in my lap, I mean, it messed with me because it's such a big school. I would knock out 15 emails between one end of the building and the other, but I was like, you know what, I'm putting it away, like I've gotta
Yeah.
model this, I've got, you know, we're gonna say that this is, you know, obviously I had it for an emergency, you know, but I really tried to, you know,
And-
follow the same.
And hopefully those parents and families that are for not having the phones for instructional time, they will just work it out with their own families to not even send the devices to school. The fewer devices that we can get in the school, the fewer we have to police. Yeah, I am. Cause I will not let my child bring a phone even on a field trip and he hates me for it. So that's just the way it is. They will.
I mean, parents are a lot of times.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
It's not wrong, it's just.
Yep, if it's the right thing for that family, then to
Yeah.
not have it there, then so be it. Okay, so new business budget topics, office, staff, personnel.
So since CISA took over and Laura left kind of midstream,
Mm-hmm.
somebody on the ground has had to pick up all the slack, and CISA's not here, and they're here 1 day a week right now. Lisa's been doing it, and they've been keeping her and peppering her and just making her the point person. And she's been really putting in a lot of extra time because, I mean, I don't know that she's not really volunteering for it, but I think CISA's just saying, look, here's what you need. Just to keep it running and that, and so I've never offered a stipend before, you know, I have the amount of 5,000 that I can go up to, but I've never done it for a person. And I was just wondering, you know, could we offer a stipend to Lisa maybe in that amount? I would never want to do it without getting board approval, because I've not done that. I've done it with purchases, but I've never done it with
are you talking about a bonus as?
a stipend.
How are-
Well, instead of a long-term raise or anything like that, I figure with our financial state, that stipend is a one-time payment versus. And I don't think we anticipate this being common after they get us
Settled
settled
in.
2 days a
I
week.
would think not.
But right now, because it was left in transition and Laura just left, they needed somebody on the ground, and Tiff's been doing a lot too. But I mean, even Tiff will say they just, you know, kind of flag Lisa for just doing it, and she learns fast and it's picked up a lot of stuff. So I just want to put that out there. I didn't really want to go with long-term increase, and I'm sorry about that, but I just didn't feel like budgetarily that's something.
I think we need to talk about that when we talk about other staffing stuff in closed sessions. I don't know. I also think we need to talk about the $5,000 stipend or $5,000 spending thing. And is there a total maximum to that
No,
for a year?
Not that I'm aware.
I think we need to look at some of that.
And I think some of those
Not really.
pieces come up at our annual meeting is when some of
Yeah,
that gets
I mean-
assigned. So that would be in October.
Yeah, I mean, you could knock it down.
We don't wanna wait to bring it to the annual meeting. I mean, if we can talk about what it's gonna say in the annual
Right.
meeting.
Right, we could talk about it ahead of time and then be ready for it.
Well, and that's why I'm bringing it to you, because I don't want to do it. I would never do it without board.
Oh, I think we're talking two different things here. I mean, there's
Yeah,
this piece
you
and
can
then,
do it. You can take it away.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wouldn't be taken away.
It was 3,000 in one month, and I rarely, like, I know it's.
I just think a maximum amount so that it's not 5,000 a month.
Oh, no, and I wouldn't.
And I'm not
I'd bring
saying
it
that
to
you
the
do
board.
that. I mean, I don't want people to get defensive. I just think
No, I'm not. I
we
just,
have to keep a handle on our money
For sure.
and there's no way to do that if we have an unlimited amount of $5,000.
I would never do that. That's the thing, and I've never done
But you might not always be here. I mean, I feel like
No, I get it.
we need to be
Oh, I
proactive in
think
our
you're right.
planning for the
it.
future.
I'm not arguing it. Because the only reason I brought up the 5,000, because that was what I had for before, that's
Yeah.
why. So-
Yeah.
So could we'll move that to a closed session
Sure.
to have a discussion at the full board meeting.
I just think she's having to do a lot of extra stuff.
I agree.
Yes, I
Midterm.
agree.
I would go with Kevin and Lisa, like
And
she
that's
wears a
why I
lot of
think-
hats and does a lot of
They're
things,
just
and I feel
pushing
like.
it and they
we're
don't
asking
have anybody
staff to
else.
do so
Yeah,
much
I mean,
more.
I've taken on some approval things, but nothing like day to day, like they're asking her. to do. And
Right.
that's.
I think we need to talk about that and about how much time it is and how much it should be and how it should be assigned. Because I agree, when somebody leaves mid-year like that,
Yes, and that's been. the
and you're
difference.
picking it up plus doing your regular job. I mean, I've been in that situation before, I understand that. But I think we need to just kind of talk about what
Sure,
that looks like.
I just wanna bring it to you.
Yep.
Mhm.
Say she's doing extra things and. Well,
And then is Tiffany also doing extra
yeah,
things?
she is.
Is,
But we started with Lisa because Tiffany's like, look, I know she's doing so much.
okay,
I'm taking on more.
right. But we might wanna look at that whole setup of how
Mhm.
those offices are working.
And I
Okay.
talked to Tiffany directly about it, like, what do you think about this? And she's like, no, Lisa's doing a lot more than what they're asking of me, so. That's why I brought it up.
Thanks for picking up the slack, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay, restructuring ideas. I didn't think that there was a huge amount of things to talk about as we go into our meeting tomorrow and next week. I do want to invite anyone from the public that wants to send in questions or topics that we can discuss at our town hall meeting next week. Tomorrow's meeting is not going to be a question answer session. It's going to be a presentation to the boards by WASB, which is the Wisconsin Association School Board group. So they're going to give us information, all three boards. We'll take that all in. The public is welcome to listen to it. And then if there are questions that come out of it, you most certainly can get them to us by email or in person with someone or text message, however you'd like to do that. And then next week's town hall meeting, I'm hoping to have some small group discussions on topics. So maybe there's a group that would discuss referendum and another group that would discuss questions on, I don't know, athletics or extracurriculars. Whatever those topics might be, if I get people that have topics they want to talk about, then I'll have a starting point from there. Otherwise, I'll just come up with some that we've addressed in the past and would just like public input on. So those were kind of my thoughts. I'm definitely open to any suggestions and things that we can do differently.
For tomorrow night's meeting,
Mhm.
where is that meeting at, in the auditorium?
It's going to be in the auditorium here.
And then, since we took the lead on that, are we paying the bill for that?
No, we're splitting it. We're
Okay.
Working it through that way, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And we tried,
well, I thought maybe we were, because we were and
no.
I was fine with it, but I
No,
just
no, we're
don't.
not. I think, no. We're working together and, yeah, and they were actually really gracious, both districts, about working with us, to be honest with you, and attending. But we all kind of had our input on what the presentation should be to start.
Mhm.
And they felt, I feel like they're very enthusiastic about it.
And I mean, just because this is our time to share, I'm going to share what the agenda is of the presentation. So we're going to look at getting information on whole grade sharing, tuition agreements, open enrollment, including part-time open enrollment and what that could mean, shared service agreements, and then other information on consolidation, dissolution, and school boundary appeals board. So that is the agenda that we've been given, the information that we'll start gathering around those pieces.
And I think they have a lot of information, so we'll over time.
Yeah,
So that's, but in terms of giving you the proper information on the whole grade sharing.
I do too,
Yeah, and that's,
and it's
They-
brand new, I mean,
Yes.
we have next to nothing for information about it.
yes, so.
Are there certain levels or grades that there, or is it just kind
Well,
of?
those-
whole grade share,
This is discussion right now, but
It's-
it's high school or like.
whole grade sharing in the state can be done for any grade level. Like, so it would be up to the districts
Or
involved or multiple, but it's up to the districts involved how they want to put the agreement together. And then there's legality pieces that go with it around which district does the student belong to? And for the high school, who would offer diplomas and who keeps track of what classes people have taken? So that's the information we have to learn about to understand how we would put together an agreement if that's something that we did. And that's what these guys are gonna help
And I
with.
think there was some legislature funding. some of that.
There was proposal, but it has not
We did
gone
it.
through. No.
First, wasn't it 2,000 person?
No, it's not.
Never
It-
passed?
It never passed.
Wow, I thought it was in there all
And that, they said that in part of our presentation was like, that's a misconception right now, because the legislature will put it out there, but it's never been formally. approved.
Wow, I did
So,
think.
yeah, and so that's why I don't think to date anybody.
So there's not a dollar incentive to that anymore?
There,
That we're
there,
aware of?
the
They're
previous.
Yes, and they'll talk about it tomorrow night.
They will. I mean, going through the packet and reading some, I think there's already a state law that has a small dollar amount that helps make up for students now being part of another district. Because when they're not here, they don't get counted in your district, depending on how the agreement's done.
Yeah.
So if all of our ninth graders went to another district, now we're down 23 kids in our
Right.
count. But it looked like there's some dollar amount for like 6 years
Yes.
that your district gets back as like a prorated amount, and it gets smaller and smaller as those years go on. So
And tuition agreements is another.
yeah, they're gonna explain
So
all.
those two are gonna be.
Well, that's the same with open enrollment. They don't get this whole dollar amount.
Yeah, but it's like over a
Yeah.
6-year times or
Yeah.
6-year
The
spread.
dollar amount is different.
Yeah. And it all depends on how those agreements, I think, are written to decide which district keeps the kids,
And
even
Bob-
if they're physically in a different spot.
Bob is working with
Yeah.
Otisford, the district who is currently going through some of the changes.
Yeah, the
So he can speak to
disillusionment.
some of that. He has shared a little.
Mhm.
So what district is he?
Eustisford.
And that's, it's pronounced different everywhere.
In July, they
Otisford.
This,
Oh.
HUT.
HUSTISFORT.
I don't.
I did look
I have a
up
friend that's-
I think it's a K-8 district near Milwaukee.
their article. So their district is currently going through
District.
a disillusion.
Next to Hartford.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a friend that taught there.
Yeah, he's talked a little bit about it, but they're going through some sort of a change right now.
I thought it was older because their articles
Yeah, you might. be
talked
right. I thought it
about
was K-8.
graduating, but maybe they were talking about graduating 8th graders, not seniors. Because those kids don't get to graduate from that school. They were hoping to do a consolidation so they would help control and slowly move some of the kids into the district, but now it is.
Years ago, I know somebody who taught high school tech ed, so they definitely.
Oh, high school. Okay,
So-
that's the gist I got. It's that
Yeah,
they were
so-
worried about their
Yeah.
people
They've
graduating.
got some experience.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so that's the current one that's happening right now. Otherwise, it's been a while, since 1990. So lots to learn tomorrow. Okay. Anything else on structuring? All right, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Lori,
Second it.
by Mindy. All those in favor
Right.
and opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.
We've never gotten out of meeting the whole, not under an hour.
Never.
That's because we got a lot to talk about over the next.
I'm
Other meetings.
Shocked. Yeah.
Just logged in.
Thanks, Kelly.
Here, I'm Polly and it's nice to meet you. We could have had you do an introduction.
Me at the
Welcome aboard.
regular meeting, we'll do an intro.
So it's right rush.
I was.
Okay, yeah, for my granted for that. Yeah. Okay, and a friend of mine was a director kind of person. For like finding it.
Yes.
Okay, she's a really good friend of mine. We used to do a lot of.
Okay, see y'all tomorrow.
Email,
Yeah.
that's at 5, right?
5:30.
Oh, you got-
5:30 tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean.